I'm Erron Titus. I'm a medical student here at UCSF. I've just finished my third year of medical school, so I'm between the third and the final fourth year. And I'm taking a year to work in Rahul Dio's lab here at the Cardiovascular Research Institute. And I'm here working on autoimmune cardiovascular disease. I had a slightly circuitous and winding path to where I currently am. And it started with my love for science when I was a kid. My dad and I used to talk about astronomy and physics all the time. I loved those conversations. I read science fiction whenever I could. But then when I got to college, I thought that I would study science, and I ended up falling in love with French literature. And I studied literature. Luckily for me, although I loved literature, there are ways to get back into science. And so what I did was I enrolled in a post-baccalaureate program just across town here at San Francisco State University. Post-bac programs are ways to take all the pre-medical science courses if you didn't take them in college. That allowed me to then apply for medical school. And once I enrolled in medical school, I had a plan to work in a lab and finally get back to science. So here I am working in Rahul Dio's lab here at UCSF at the Cardiovascular Research Institute. And I'll be spending a year here. I love cardiology. I find the physiology of the heart, the mechanics of it fascinating. There are many, many diseases of the heart. And there are many people who have, say, a genetic mutation that causes them to be at risk of developing the disease, or a risk factor in terms of, lifestyle, behavior, what you eat, that causes them to be at risk for disease. Yet what we find is some people get the disease and some people don't, even if they look the same to us. So what we're studying is why certain people with the same risk factors and the same genetic mutation, same genetic sequence, get disease and why others don't. Like a lot of projects in the Dio lab, our project is a mixture of computational stuff that we perform just in front of a computer, and what we call wet lab stuff, which is, working with our hands, growing cells, working with biological molecules, DNA, RNA, proteins. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm actually working on synthesizing lots of different proteins that we need for our project. And the way we do that is we make copies of the DNA for that protein, and then we have a system that makes lots of protein from those DNA sequences that we copied. So what we're studying with regard to my project is autoimmune cardiovascular disease. So we're studying situations where your body's own immune system has attacked the heart or attacked your blood vessels. So we're studying situations where something has gone wrong with your immune system and it's attacking the wrong thing. Everything we do in the lab has a clinical application in mind at some point down the road. Hopefully, with the knowledge that we gain from our work and the results of our studies, we might be able to create the basis for a new drug, new pharmaceutical product. And hopefully anything that might come out of this in terms of a drug would be a very targeted drug that would affect only the part of the immune system that is misbehaving and leave the rest of your immune system intact. One thing that's really important is that we not give people powerful drugs or recommend surgery or treat them for something if they're actually not going to get sick. So we need to do a better job of figuring out exactly who is going to have a health condition that requires treatment and who is going to be okay without treatment. Another facet of our work is just trying to understand more about the basic biology of these diseases. Often when we can't predict who will end up getting sick and who won't, it's because there's something that we still don't understand about how these disease mechanisms work. We are in some ways at a transition point where we've now discovered a lot of the specific mutations and genetic defects that cause these diseases, and we've cataloged them. But we still don't know why some people with the defect in their genes get the disease and some people don't. So that's sort of the transition point where we're at. Now we need to move on to discovering exactly how each of these defects produces disease and why in some people they produce disease and in other people they don't. I'm having a fantastic time. It's just an opportunity to be creative, to discover intellectually exciting new things, and I love it.